Happy New Year! It's 2022 and I'm excited to bring you this episode of The Shipper right from the head office of the Nigerian Shippers Council in Apapa, Lagos. As you can see, we are in the festive period and it remains a season of light and love. This episode is a special edition and you will see why. Stay with us as we take a short break.
Nigerian Shippers Council, they to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve them for you.
Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council, they feel in a parole now for every level. And as soon as goods, they move from port A, go enter port B with a measure within on a need. For the Nigerian Shippers Council, we don't sharp proper to fit hear you wella, work with you wella, and help you fit serve your customers them better, no matter where them day. As we country port economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council get every now to fit make government consider the problem when shippers them they face. Visit we office for number 4 or to buy your daily show your daily. Papa, email us for nsc@shipperscouncil.gov.ng. We website now www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
For you, we dey gidigba,
Nigerian Shippers Council with a meeting now for the port of Nane.
Welcome back. My name is Abike Ido and you're watching The Shipper, brought to you by Nigeria's Port Economic Regulator, Nigerian Shippers Council. Remember I said this was a special edition. Oluwasegun Aloko will be joining me right here as we review maritime activities of the year 2021. Welcome, Segun, and happy holidays. I hope you're feeling the festivities. Tell me, how did you spend your Christmas?
Thank you, Abike. To be honest, I didn't do anything special per se. We, that is, my wife and I, just cooked fried rice and chicken and distributed to the neighbors. It is the season to be jolly.
It's all right. Let's move on to discuss the maritime review for the year 2021. What can you tell us?
First off, from our research, I'll say that the maritime sector is gradually returning from the COVID pandemic. Its impact on shipping for the year 2021 isn't like that of 2020 when the COVID first hit. We are learning to live with it. Omicron will not get the better of the world.
Oh yes, Omicron and Delta, and who knows what next. Hopefully, that's the last of the variants. But are you telling me that despite the economic impact of COVID-19, the effect on maritime trade has been less than feared?
Well, actually, the shock in the first half of 2020 caused maritime trade to contract by 3.8% in the year 2020. However, global trade volumes have since rebounded.
But I understand that volatility in demand, constraints on capacity caused major congestions at ports and disruptions to supply chains, especially in one of the busiest ports in the world, that is Yantian Port in the city of Shenzhen.
That is true. That was as a result of the outbreaks of COVID at the Guangdong province in southern China in May 2021.
All right then, tell me, what industry was the most affected by the pandemic?
Well, the cruise industry and the car carrier segment were actually the worst affected by the pandemic. But then, the industry's 3 largest markets, tankers, bulkers, and containers, have been quick to recover.
Really?
Yes. Global container throughput in the first month of 2021 exceeded pre-pandemic levels, increasing by 6.4% in January 2021 compared to January 2020. Changes in consumption and shopping patterns triggered by the pandemic combined with an easing of lockdowns and government stimulus packages, led to increased demand for manufactured consumer goods, typically moved in shipping containers.
Interesting. Now, what about the seafarers? Recall that around December 2020, seafarers were stranded and unable to go home. What has been the case in 2021?
Sadly, the crew change situation remains a humanitarian crisis, which continues to have a major impact on the health and well-being of seafarers. In March 2021, it was estimated that some 200,000 seafarers remained on board vessels, with a similar number urgently needing to join ships to replace them.
With so many crew members stuck on board vessels, this is posing to be a serious concern for the next generation of seafarers. So what else can you tell us?
Well, still on the downside, container losses at sea also spiked in the year 2020 and have continued at a high level in 2021, disrupting supply chains and posing a potential pollution and navigation risk. I mean, the number of container losses is by far the worst in 7 years.
That's bad.
Yes, more than 30,000 containers were lost at sea in the 12th month of 2020, while more than 1,000 alone fell overboard during the first month of 2021. Oh, and to top it up, the Gulf of Guinea emerged as the worst piracy hotspot, accounting for over 95% of crew numbers kidnapped worldwide in 2020. 130 crew were kidnapped in 22 separate incidents in the region, the highest ever, and the problem has continued in 2021.
What about the Suez Canal incident?
Ah, yes. The blocking of the Suez Canal by the Ever Given in March 2021 caused huge delays to hundreds of vessels waiting to transit the canal. The blockage was estimated to have affected an estimated $9.6 billion of goods each day, or around 12% of total world trade.
That's a lot of money. Speaking about the environment and going green, any update on that front?
Actually, yes. Arctic shipping has continued to gather momentum. In the last 5 years, cargo traffic along the northern sea routes has grown almost fivefold, reaching 33 million tons in 2020. And it is predicted that this could increase to 100 million tons by 2030.
You know that climate change concerns could hamper further developments, right?
You are very correct. And that is why a growing number of companies have pledged not to ship goods through the Arctic Ocean on environmental grounds. Because sailing in Arctic water poses a number of risks, including unpredictable and extreme weather conditions, long periods of darkness, and the remoteness of routes from infrastructure and emergency response services.
So true. I understand that in the event of an accident, the cost of salvage and environmental impact could be considerably higher than in non-Arctic waters. Bringing us back home, any update on the council?
Oh yes, there was the debut of the annual CEO's Award, which was a moment of bliss as the ESCO, Emmanuel Jime, recognized consistency in hard work and contribution to the development of the council to deserving staff in each independent unit, department, and zonal offices.
This is the first time the CEO awards to outstanding staff, and I happen to be one of the recipients. I'm grateful to God. Honestly speaking, it's going to be a memorable day in my life. I hope to see a council better than where we are today, God's willing.
I feel motivated, and from the moment this award was given to me, I have taken it upon myself again to work harder.
I'm very excited. I give God all the glory because I believe it's not by my own power or by my own doing. It's a great privilege for me, for myself and my family.
I'm very happy. First of all, I will say thank you to Almighty Allah for bringing me this far. Thank you to Nigeria Shippers Council for allowing me to serve. And thank you to my boss. She's my role model.
I would like to thank the management of the Nigerian Shippers Council and then my department, the Human Resources Department, for nominating me for this award. It's an encouraging one, and I would like to assure the management of the council that we're not going to let you down. We will do whatsoever we can within our power to move the Human Resource Department forward and then Nigerian Shippers Council forward.
Hard work certainly pays.
Yes, it does. The Star Award was presented to the Coordinator General of the Port Standard Task Team, Mr. Moses Fadekpe, for his unwavering effort towards improvement of the port sector, which has earned the council public recognition from external stakeholders.
With a standing ovation, please. With a standing ovation, please. Join your hands together for the years.
Phew. 2021 sure has been quite a year. Here's hoping there's more development in 2022.
Nigerian Shippers Council Day to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve them for you.
Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council they feel in a parole now for every level, and as soon as goods they move from port A go enter port B with a measure within on a need. For the Nigerian Shippers Council, we don't sharp proper to fit hear you wella, work with you wella, and help you fit serve your customers them better, no matter where them day. As we country port economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council get every now to fit make government consider the problem where shippers them they face. Visit we office for number 4 or to buy your daily show your daily lane. Papa email us for nsc@shipperscouncil.gov.ng. We website now www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
For you, we dey gidigba,
Nigerian Shippers Council with a meeting for the port of Nane.
Like a mistletoe, if anything were to be described as a low-hanging fruit amongst the initiatives on Shippers Council's agenda, it will be the Inland Dry Ports. The Executive Secretary and CEO of the Council, Honorable Emmanuel Jime, led a management team to Ibadan to see Governor Seyi Makinde to tie up any loose ends. Lucy Ulugbe now brings us up to speed.
For the newly minted Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer, Honorable Emmanuel Jime, the 2-day working visit to neighboring Oyo State was long overdue, having been on his agenda since he came on board. Honorable Jime was accompanied by some members of the council's top management to meet with Governor of Oyo State, His Excellency Engineer Seyi Makinde. The governor welcomed the new NSC boss and his team to Oyo State while wishing him a successful tenure as the CEO of the council. Speaking on the Ibadan Inland Dry Port, the governor said Oyo State government is ready to continue the partnership with Nigerian Shippers Council for speedy realization of the project. According to him, the Inland Dry Port is a project of top priority for his administration, promising that the host state will give the council the maximum support needed for the project to be completed. Governor Makinde assured the visiting management team that Oyo State is open to constructive criticism and welcomes all partners in progress.
If there are things that we also need to do to fast-track this project, we really want to do it because it's a game changer for us. We've written to the federal government to give us the road from Old Ojo to that money are interchange.
The Executive Secretary and CEO of the Council, Honorable Emmanuel Jime, disclosed that all outstanding issues in the full business case and the concessionaire agreement that will drive the development of Ibadan Inland Dry Port have been resolved. He commended the state government for the pivotal role it has played in the development of Ibadan Inland Dry Port. According to him, the outstanding issues that had not been addressed by the Oyo State government include the payment of compensation for the 90 hectares of land acquired for the project.
The state government had agreed to provide the underlisted infrastructure. I think for benefit of our visit, I will just read a couple of them out quickly, sir, because we feel these are necessary for the successful takeoff and operation of the project. 1, the government has committed, Your Excellency, to provide a link route from the entrance and exit of the Ibadan Dry Port. You also have committed to build a frame bridge at the entrance and exit of Ibadan Dry Port, connection of the Ibadan Inland Dry Port to 33 kV power supply. Last but not least, the reconstruction of Oyo Ibadan to Monia Isheyin Link Road. The state governments also accepted to participate in the equity holding of the special purpose vehicle to be set up for the project.
The Executive Secretary also held an interactive session with stakeholders in the Southwest Zone where challenges and some issues facing the project were discussed. Representing Governor Seyi Makinde at the stakeholders' interactive session, the Secretary to the State Government, Mrs. Olubamiwo Adeosun, said that the stakeholders' meeting was convened at the right time when issues affecting the speedy completion of the project could be discussed in order to move the project forward.
We started the discussions even between the Nigerian Shippers Council, Oyo State Government and the concessionaires for over 2 years. But we had to slow down a lot, and at the time we even moved on to Zoom meetings because of COVID. So like the Executive Secretary said, now things have picked up. What is most important is both at the state level and at the federal government level, we are all committed to making this project happen.
The Commissioner of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Mr. Olaiwola Olusegun Emmanuel, said that the Oyo State Government has approved 1 billion naira as compensation to the landowners of Ibadan Dry Port site.
The only problem we had in the past was about the bureaucracy of the civil servant. And just on Monday, there was a meeting between the Accountant General, the due process, because the Accountant General was of the opinion that we need certificate of notice and that. And the due process, as he said, it's not procurement, it's not contract. So they don't need that certificate. So that one has been laid to rest. So I can assure you, you will, in a couple of weeks, I said that they should let me have the list of those that are to be compensated. I want to go through the list again, and after that, you will be paid by the grace of God.
Speaking on behalf of traditional rulers in Akinyele local government area, the Alakinyele of Akinyele, His Royal Highness James Adeniran, urged the government to expedite action on Ibadan Dry Port project.
We are happy when the governor just appointed one of our own sons as the commissioner for land. We are so much happy. And 4 or 5 days ago, we paid him a visit. The first thing we put across to him is that, though we congratulate you that our son, we are having a problem about this dry port. He said, what's the problem? The son of the son. Before he talked, he said, what are you saying with me? This is a Kelly dry port. Before you even come, I started working. What we do not know for years, we were able to know that arrangement is pipeline. And sooner or later, the area that you are afraid of will not be there again. He promised us. He said, I'm your son. I can't deceive you. If they are deceiving you for the past, I'm telling you now. Our governor is a listening governor.
The Executive Secretary further expressed gratitude to the state government for partnering with Shippers Council to expand the activities of the maritime industry through the establishment of Ibadan Inland Dry Port. He said that he was optimistic that the dry port project, when completed and operational, will ease the business of shipping for shippers in the entire southwestern region and indeed beyond.
I come here in courtesy, in all due humility, to listen to you, to understand what are the challenges that the shippers of the Southwest Zone face, which are the areas that we need action to be taken, so that we can collaborate and work together to see how we're able to resolve some of the challenging problems that we're facing the maritime space, and in particular here in the Southwest Zone.
He called on the stakeholders to take advantage of the mechanisms that NSC has put in place. For instance, the Port Service Support Portal, PSSP, which can address their complaints and problems with dispatch. He said gone are the days when Shippers Council was seen as a toothless bulldog.
Today, I want to inform you, shippers of the Southwest, that the government of this country, in its wisdom, put in place what is called a Port Process Manual, the NPPM. Now, that Port Process Manual has the responsibility of ensuring that everybody in the industry is guided by certain rules and regulations. And that if there is perceived infraction, there is now a mechanism available under the task team that is put in place by the federal government to ensure compliance with the procedures that we have in place. So I want to let you know today that if anybody commits infractions and we get to know about it through your usage of our complaints mechanism, that believe me, there is enforcement available for us to use the mechanism of the NPPM in order to sanction.
The shipper spoke to stakeholders in the industry about their challenges and expectations.
It's a good body, but unfortunately in Kwara, shipping activity is still very low. This is the area we are trying to work upon so that we can be able to benefit more from Kwara State. I think that they have been able to construct this inland container depot. Things will move very fast. But no, Lagos activity is very choky now. So moving goods to Lagos is not easy now. So we pray to the government to help us speed up the activities of this inland container depot so that export activities can rise very high.
A lot of challenges in terms of importing in the port. At times when we are unable to clear our goods on time, at times we run to Domridge. I need to pay extra money, extra charges before we can clear the goods. We are expecting more enlightenment and how we can solve our problem and how they can come to our aid to solve the problem we are facing and challenges we are facing.
The NSC boss had earlier met with staff in Southwest Zone, where the director of the zone, Mr. Glory Onajedo, welcomed him and briefed him on the activities of the office in the Southwest Zone.
We do stakeholder registration of service users and service providers, but it is of note that in the Southwest Zone, there are 6 shippers associations, namely Ekiti Shippers Association, Kwara Shippers Association, the Shippers Association of Ogun State, the Shippers Association of Ondo State, Osun Shippers Association, and the Shippers Association of Oyo State. They are all functional, they are all active. Albeit, some of them, particularly the Ogun Shippers Association, needs to be reorganized.
The executive secretary, in his response, commended the staff for their dedication.
I've come here and Glory has given me a brilliant picture of your activities and the projects that are being embarked upon. I believe that when the Ibadan Dry Port comes into operation, it will be a flagship dry port, because from how it has been conceived, that dry port will excel and exceed all the other dry ports that have been conceived. I consider it an article of faith that we will do everything in our powers. And I'm glad that I came here with the Director, Inland Transport Service, and of course, the gentleman who is supervising the PPP desk. These are all relevant offices as far as this particular point that I'm raising. So when we go back, we'll have to now begin the work.
He said NSC will ensure the provision of conducive working environment for its staff.
Nigerian Shippers Council, they to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve them for you.
Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council, they feel in a parole now for every level. And as soon as goods, they move from Port A, go enter Port B with a measure within on a need. For the Nigerian Shippers Council, we don't sharp proper to fit hear you wella, work with you wella, and help you fit serve your customers them better, no matter where them day. As we country port economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council get every now to fit make government consider the problem where shippers them they face. Visit we office for number 4 or to buy your daily show your daily. Papa, email us for nsc@shipperscouncil.gov.ng. We website now www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
For you, we dey
Nigerian Shippers Council with the meeting now for the port of Nane.
And that's it on your favorite maritime program on television. We implore regulated service providers to register with the Nigerian Shippers Council on www.shipperstradedata.gov.ng.
It is compulsory. We wish you a sparkling new year. Welcome to 2022. Bye.